Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review of another Eddie Murphy film, and this time it is Showtime. Now, this came out the same year as I Spy and Pluto Nash, and it's weird. Of those three films, Pluto Nash I really did not like. I Spy was like, and then this film, which I liked, sort of went the whole spectrum with Eddie for me in that year, 2002. I like Showtime. I think it's a little bit underrated. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. It's directed by Tom Dey, or Tom Dey, the same guy who did Shanghai Noon, and I thought he did a really solid job with this. I like the concept of the film, which is Robert De Niro is a cop, a detective. He's looking into these automatic shotgun type of weapons that are getting on the streets. Eddie Murphy is a patrol officer, uniform officer, and they both are put into this reality TV show called Showtime. And you have the typical they don't like each other, and then they're bonding with each other, and then they grow to like each other. But even the movie itself does go a little bit into those cliches. And I like the reality TV series aspect of it. I like the cast. It was cool to see these two guys play off each other. I thought they did it fairly well. Robert De Niro plays it straightforward, which I thought was for the best. Eddie Murphy, I know some friends of mine thought he was annoying. I didn't mind him at all. Watching the film again, he's a guy. First thing he's auditioning for a role to catch his big break, but doesn't work out. I even don't mind the theme song. And then it's showtime. Other people, Most Def, he's in a small role as a guy that Robert De Niro and this other actor, they meet early on, and then things go haywire. Rene Russo is the producer of this TV reality show. William Shatner, definitely my favorite parts are with him. He's trying to teach these guys how to be TV cops. Um, his stuff was the funniest. I kind of wish William Shatner was in the film even more, because William Shatner playing himself, and I was in TJ Hooker, and I gotta teach you hood jumping. So he jumps on the hood and he slides off. And Robert De Niro goes, "You okay there, TJ?" Or teaching Eddie Murphy about tasting drugs with the pinky. And then Robert De Niro's like, "What if it was cyanide?" And the look on Shatner and Eddie's face is just priceless. And then Robert De Niro goes, "There's a real reason. There's a reason why real cops don't taste drugs." And again, I thought these two played off each other fairly well. When they're in the car and Robert De Niro's trying to lay down the law, but being a decent guy too, like, hey, we're out here, I got your back, you got mine. And then Eddie Murphy sees a camera in the car and he plays it up and talks about his childhood and being very overdramatic. And then Robert De Niro's like, what the fuck's that got to do with anything? Hey, you had your time, your speech, I'm doing my speech. Oh, another person that was cool to see was, oh, fuck, what was his name? I know his name. Kadeem Hardison, who had worked with Eddie and Vampire Brooklyn. He was in this very underrated film with Mark Dacascos called Drive. That's a film that deserves a Blu-ray. He has a small role as this. As a buddy of Eddie Murphy, that Eddie Murphy gets to help set up this purse snatching with Rene Russo to get him to see the producer in order to be on the reality TV show. And again, with the reality TV side, they actually do play on the cliches where even Rene Russo goes, "We need a funny minority type," and maybe play off the cliches a little bit more. Maybe a bit tighter script, a little bit smarter script would have been appreciated. but I don't think it's as bad as people made out to be. I mean, this film bombed badly when it came out. Most of the critics, there was a few of them. Kevin Thomas, LA Times, fresh and funny. De Niro and Murphy play off each other hilariously. I agree with that. But the most part, critics killed the film. But yeah, other people, Johnny Cochran, the lawyer, he makes an appearance in this. Frankie Faison from Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. He's in this film as Robert De Niro's boss. And again, it's just pretty much them on this case with these automatic shotguns trying to get onto the streets. And what makes the film work are these two guys, and they're back and forth with each other. Like finding out that Robert De Niro's character makes pottery. And Eddie Murphy at first doesn't know, and he sees one. It's like, did a crackhead make this? And he finds Robert De Niro's little area that he makes in. He goes, I just found the crackhead's workshop. Or how the reality is changed to be more extravagant by the producers. So they change Robert De Niro's place, and they change the type of vehicle he drives. They give him a Humvee. They give him these confessionals where from time to time they're supposed to speak to the camera as part of the show. There's a couple of pretty decent action sequences. There's a point where they fuck up some bad guys in a club. There's another point where this type of vehicle with these tongs grabs De Niro's car, and De Niro's on top, and he has to hood jump while the thing barrels down the street and smashes and blows up some shit. And again, Eddie Murphy has some moments to shine. There's a point where kind of a nod to his old stuff, where he uses his wit and his brains and pretends to be this guy from the Justice Channel to get this guy to talk. And he's saying, "Save the babies, brother. Come on, save the babies. Come on. Tell the people, save the babies." Or when he's talking with Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro is looking through a sheet that tells Eddie Murphy's character. He's like, "You used to be a mime?" He's like, "Yeah. I could even mouth words like." And that's what me. I thought both of them play out. I keep repeating that, but that's the big point of the film. They played each other. They played off each other very well. And I don't think the movie felt that long. It's only an hour and 35 minutes. It definitely looked like it had a budget behind it. The direction, I didn't notice much bad points of the direction. I didn't notice awkward editing or shitty, shaky cam. And again, it's not a lot. It's not the funniest of Eddie Murphy's films. I wouldn't put it above Beverly Hills Cop 1 or 2 or The Golden Child or things of that nature. But there were moments that made me chuckle, like the stuff I said before. They gave him this dog, and then when they're taking stuff away, they try to take this dog, and Robert De Niro says to the guys, "This is a police officer, and if you touch him, that constitute assault, and I'll be forced to shoot you." And the dog growls at them, but he loves Robert De Niro, and De Niro's like, "Good boy." Again, the actors do a better job portraying that than I could. That's why it's hard to talk about comedies. And again, the action bits work well. They go into this gun show, and the shootout happens. They shoot something. This big scoreboard falls down. Before that, they try to get info, and they're talking to a lady who's a fan of the show. And Eddie Murphy's talking, and she's like, "Oh, please say your line. Please say your line," which is, "It's showtime." So Eddie does it, and then he's like, "This bitch is crazy." See, moments like that made me feel of the old Eddie Murphy. I saw a bit of the old Eddie Murphy peeking out, which was nice to see. And doesn't have too many make your material. I don't even know if this film's on Blu-ray, but it's commentary by director Tom Dey, producer Jorge Saludu, outrageous additional extended scenes. Which, it's not much to run home about, and a little making of at the time HBO First Look. So there's not a ton of features. I don't really have much problems with the flick. I mean, the villain isn't much. He's a guy with a thick accent, which even the two characters make fun of at the end by going, "What'd you say?" So get your guns in here. What'd you say, huh? What, you guys don't speak English? But I think this is a bit of an underrated film. This is a flick that got the shit kicked out of it. It didn't deserve it. I think if you haven't seen the film, or you haven't seen the film in a while, it's worth a look. Again, alright, decent action. It's not the most memorable action. Um, some recognizable people. William Shatner's a lot of fun in it. Two actors who I thought did a solid job. I thought they had some pretty decent chemistry with each other. And definitely one of the better Eddie Murphy films in the past. Well, 2002 to 2000, shit, 20 years. This is going 20 years. Yeah, I would say of the past 20 years, from 1999 to 2019, it would be one of my favorite Eddie Murphy films, now that I think about it. Which shows how much crap he's made. Yeah. Showtime, fun, underrated flick. I, I've always enjoyed it. I've never hated it like other people did. And I've never really understood the big hate for it. I mean, if you think this is bad, watch Nutty Professor films, watch Dr. Dolittle films, watch The Haunted Mansion, watch Norbit, or Meet Dave, or Imagine That, or fucking Thousand Words. I like this more than Tower Heist. And Tower Heist got more praise from critics, it seemed, than this one. Thought this was definitely a better movie than Tower Heist. But that's just my opinion. But thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.